So we get the question about every door direct mail all the time. And it's a little complicated and confusing, so I just want to try to help to fill those gaps as much as possible. So to give a little bit of background, right, when you're doing an every door direct mail campaign, or often referred to the abbreviation of EDDM, so when you're doing an every door direct mail campaign or EDDM campaign, you are actually choosing a USPS carrier route to deliver all of those mail pieces to, right? Whether that's a postcard or a letter, a brochure, you are saying, okay, I am going to choose this carrier route and say it has 500 homes in that carrier route. You're going to bring to USPS, so you have to prepare in specific packs for USPS all of the pieces that are gonna get dropped off for that carrier route. Now, when you choose the carrier route, you pay for the postage and you deliver the pieces, it does not take into account vacant homes, any absentee. It doesn't matter. However many homes are on the carrier route, that's what you're paying for. So even if, let's say, 20% of those homes are vacant and USPS is not going to deliver to the vacant homes, that's just part of the agreement. Even if 20% of those homes are vacant, USPS is going to charge you for those. Take those cards, drop them in the trash. That's the agreement. That's not anything, weird that they're doing. They tell you that up front, right? They are not going to forward EDDM pieces. They are not going to deliver them to vacant addresses. They're going in the trash. So off the bat, you have to keep that in mind when comparing the costs of doing EDDM versus, a traditional list campaign. The other big piece to keep in mind with EDDM, especially if you're a real estate agent, is that those mail pieces are getting delivered to the property address. They are not getting delivered to the homeowner, right? EDDM pieces get delivered to the property address, not to the homeowner. So where EDDM might make sense is if you're targeting a large apartment building or an area of a couple of large apartment buildings, and you want to get to the actual residents of the apartments because you're soliciting for buyers, right? You're prospecting for buyers instead of prospecting for sellers, then EDDM can make sense. Most real estate direct mail campaigns, though, whether they're postcards, letters, or real estate brochures, are targeting getting listings, though, right? You want real estate sellers, not real estate buyers. If you're targeting getting listings, absentee owners have a way higher turnover rate than non-absentee owners, right? Or owner-occupied homes. So, it really doesn't make sense to use something like EDDM where you're getting the postcard in the hands of the tenant instead of getting the postcard in the hands of the homeowner. So you really need to be careful when you're thinking about this, and you don't want to look at your campaigns in terms of how much is this campaign costing. You want to look at your campaigns in terms of what's my return on investment for this direct mail campaign. Generally, your return on investment is going to be much higher when you're hitting those absentee owners. So not only are absentee owners more likely to sell, right, meaning they have a higher turnover rate, but absentee owners are also less likely to have a local friend or family member that's a real estate agent, right? In a lot of markets these days, as a real estate agent, when you're looking at your marketing campaigns, whether it's direct mail or anything else, you have to keep in mind that, a lot of who you're competing with aren't even necessarily full-time real estate agents. It's part-time friends and family too. But if someone lives in Ohio and they own a home in Arizona, they probably don't have a friend or family member that's a real estate agent in Arizona. So for that reason, absentee owners can just really, really be great targets. So, just to recap a little bit, every door direct mail is not reaching the homeowner. It is reaching the occupant of the home. In very few cases, when it comes to real estate marketing campaigns, are we wanting to reach the occupant of the home? We want to reach the homeowner because our messaging is usually around getting listings, not around getting buyers. Additionally, absentee owners who are our strongest prospects because they have the highest turnover rate and they are the most likely to respond to a direct mail campaign, do not receive every door direct mail or EDDM. So it's incredibly important that if you're a real estate agent and you're targeting listings, that you are mailing list-based campaigns, not every door direct mail campaigns.